Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is August the 3rd, 2021. Today, the topic is Practice Makes Perfect. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It took me a while to get up this morning, y'all. Hey, I guess technically I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and everything like that, but yeah, I want to say I took the first 30 minutes just waking up and then I did not do my full routine. I know. But I'm here, right? I'm here to give you the juice, so that's something. Did my prayer meditation and everything like that. Um, Before we get into the topic and the inspiration and whatnot, yesterday, so let me see. Well, the main thing I did, what was National Coloring Book Day yesterday, and so I promoted heavily the coloring book. I ended up coming up with an idea to do a raffle because I had planned to do a coloring set that evening, but we didn't really get much feedback with it. But it was only a few days of ticket sales, so maybe it wasn't long enough to promote or whatnot. So, um, but I still wanted to do something for National Coloring Book Day, because I have a coloring book. So, if you don't know that I have a coloring book, then it's called Unwind Self-Care Coloring Book for Women. It's available on Amazon right now. But yeah, and so I did a giveaway yesterday, and so I only had a couple of people to submit, and the winner was my mom. So shout out again to my mother, Evangelist Evelyn O'Neill. Um, the winner of the coloring book yesterday. I promise it was not rigged. Everybody saw me shake the glass up and pick it out, and everything like that. So she should be receiving her coloring book soon. And I did give an honorary prize to the other lady that submitted as well. I'm going to be sending her some nail polish. So, yeah, that's what happened yesterday. I guess that's the main thing that happened. Um, yeah, so I went live and did that. So if you guys follow me on social media, then you probably saw my live video and everything like that. I also filmed, um, just like a quick sneak peek into at some of the pages inside of the coloring book. So, that is out now. Yeah, so that's pretty much what was going on yesterday. It's just coloring book advertisements and all kinds of things like that. But yeah, so here I am today and woke up this morning to do the juice. So when I did prepare meditation this morning, well, it just came to me to just acknowledge this, so I'm gonna go ahead and acknowledge this as well. So, the family member that Elizabeth, lost last week, I believe they are burying the gentleman today. I believe it's her uncle. And so, I'm definitely trying my best to give her a little break from me today, so she can, of course, spend time with family and everything like that. And so, yeah, just keep her and her family in prayer, everyone, if you can and will. Um, of course, any loss to, anyone's family is um, you know, something to be considerate of and everything like that. And so, my heart is with her. Uh, and I just hope that you guys, again, just, keep them in, her and her family in prayer, um, regarding that. So, yeah, I'm doing my own post and whatnot today. So, so far, so good. I went ahead and like posted the morning stuff like as I was doing it. I just went ahead and posted it. So you probably saw that if you follow us on social media. You saw that basically the meditations is already out there, as well as the Bible verse of the day. But I promise I didn't look at it until after I did my whole situation. So back to what I was getting ready to tell you guys. So I did my prayer and meditation, of course, with the Soul Space app, and during it, there was one point when the guide mentioned um, rehearsing um, something. I can't remember the exact way she used it, but it was something like Oh, goodness, I can't remember right now. Okay, so let's say, for example, it's like love. We need to rehearse love, or joy. I think she said it was about joy and rehearsing joy, and that kind of stood out to me this morning. In the midst of the prayer meditation, um, because on one hand it makes sense to me too, because I'm like, rehearse joy, like, to for me it kind of put it into my stuff to like, okay, let's put this in practice, or let's rehearsing joy, or remembering, like we were talking about yesterday, remembering and everything like that. And so obviously when I started to look up verses, I didn't really find much for rehearse, not for what I was looking for, but when I put it in the word practice, I did. And so that's where the topic came from today. Practice makes perfect. And let's see what the Bible has to say about that. So the first verse that stood out to me this morning was Philippians 4:9. It says, "What you learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you." I mean, again, pretty self-explanatory right there. It's pretty plain to say, hey, what you learn, receive, heard, seen in me, practice these things. Of course, referring to Jesus. um, you know, um, what we learn from him, what we received from him, what we heard from him, what we saw from him, we need to practice these things. I actually was tuning in um, last night to a previous recorded podcast, panel discussion that I was part of last week or a week or so ago. And I shared that on my social media as well. So if you guys saw that, then you should be able to see part 1 and part 2 of Anointed Touch. I was a part of their panel discussion, and they were talking about is cursing a sin and everything like that. And basically, one of the gentlemen did make a point that, again, we should, of course, strive to be like Christ and everything like that. And so as we do that, it's like, are we being good representations of Christ and whatnot? And so if Christ didn't curse, then we shouldn't curse, type of vibe, right? So same thing in regards to putting into practice what we witness God do with and for us, So yeah, I mean, I guess that's what's on my heart and mind this morning. Um, when I say practice makes perfect, because yeah, at the end of the day, we have to, I guess, like I say, make a habit, make a routine, we need to put this stuff into practice. We can't just be, well, let me let the word tell you before I go on. Let me see here. Let me go to this one. There's a couple of other ones that I have, but let me skip those for a moment and go here to James 1:22 through 24. It says, "But be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. For if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man who looks intently at his natural face in a mirror, for he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was." So I ended up having to look up 24 in the King James Version, and so obviously it kind of took a little twist there. But basically, if I keep it in the English that it was the other verses was in, it's pretty much saying if we are hearers only of the word, then we're like a man that goes and look in the mirror and then walks away from the mirror and forgets what he looks like. It's pretty much that is what that's saying there. And there you go. There you go, friend. That's the thing. If we're not putting into practice let's go back to that first verse there. What we learned, received, heard, and seen from God, from Jesus, what he did for us. If we're not putting those things into practice, then we're just like that example there. And we're not being a doer of the word, just probably a hearer only. Sometimes maybe not even a hearer. That was one thing that came to my heart and mind this morning as I was writing down these verses. It's like, some of us are not even hearing the word at this point. You know, I would say, I mean, do I appreciate anybody that listens to the sound of my voice? I truly do. But I hope that I'm not the only Bible that you receive. Like at the end of the day, I hope that you are, taking the time to read this stuff for yourself. I hope that you are going deeper and, looking at the verses that I put in the go deeper section, even if that's just the start, is what I'm saying. Or whatever the case is, and again, I had to get here, y'all. I had to get here. I'm not sitting here trying to act like I'm perfect by any means. My whole Bible study situation, at least this consistent situation, y'all know, it started April 1st, 2020. You know what I mean? And so, but again, it's like it's what the juice represents, being intentional about, taking that time to do that. It's putting it into practice. How can we expect perfection or in any area without some type of practice? And so how more so for the things of God? Just something to keep on our minds today. For those that have doubts, for those that have fears in that area, hopefully these next couple of verses will help you. This one, Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through him who strengthens me. So there you go. I mean, if you have doubts and fears about, man, can I put into practice the things that Jesus did? The word here says you can do all things through what? The strength, he that who strengthens me. So his strength, not by our strength, his strength. Some of us go through life and feel as if we don't need Christ, we don't need God, we don't need anybody. There are even some that are bold enough to feel as if they are God or a God. And I don't know. I feel like I've said this before, but I don't know. But basically, it's like you've done no God-like things. Like, what have you done to feel as if you're a God? I mean, goodness, like, let's keep it real. Like, I mean, perhaps the most quote unquote God-like thing I've done is bring life into the world. But even that, I didn't do alone. Okay. And then I had to do it by the grace of God with the help of modern medicine and all these other little things. Let's not sit here and act like we've created universes and whatnot. Like, come on, like the gall, it's like the audacity. Like, but I mean, people will literally say that. People will literally say that. I mean, I watched a video of this gentleman trying to debate Pastor David Lynn on the street and straight up being like, oh, I'm a God, X, Y, and Z. It's like, I mean, okay, we may be made in God's image. Okay, we may all be made in God's image. That's probably, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think God has given us authority as well, over a lot. So perhaps but again, those things are God given, But hey, that's just me and my observation. But again, if you doubt and fear in this area, you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you, or through he that strengthens you. Luke 1:37 says, for nothing is impossible. Excuse me, let me say it the right way. For nothing will be impossible with God. Again, hopefully that encourages you and inspires you today, because if you're doubting that, if you can put things into practice, then hey, nothing will be impossible with God. And if putting things into practice is the desire of your heart, then you can do it, friend. And I'm a living witness that God can change your life. It's just a matter of I guess being willing, right? Being willing to put these things into practice. And so that's just something to think about on today. The Bible verse of today is Ecclesiastes 12:13. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of men. Or it says of man, excuse me, but still. friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. I pray you guys go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. And as for my Facebook and YouTube people, I hope that you guys enjoyed the juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, thank you everyone for the support in any aspect. I appreciate the listeners. I appreciate the watchers. I appreciate the people that purchase. I appreciate people that donate. All things I really do appreciate. I haven't shouted you out, Ewan, but yes, I've seen you. I've seen your comments over the weekend, things like that. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for tuning in and commenting and everything like that. I hope all is well over there. And look, Aussie land. I don't know. I'm sure y'all don't call it that, but just throw something out there. Let me go ahead and get it to you. Oh, I know you've been missing that. It's fun. He's like, nah, I do that myself. I don't need you to do it. But yeah, shout out to you. I just don't want to forget to acknowledge you, man. I see you and I appreciate you. So thank you so much for taking out the time to, acknowledge me. Right. So, again, congrats to my mom for winning the coloring book raffle yesterday. All of my books are available on Amazon. You guys can just look up my name. You should be able to find everything. Miracle Sims. You can find the juice. You can find the wine tasting journal. You can find the coloring book. I have another little thing up my sleeve, but I don't know when I can do it at the moment because, things is, yeah. What can I say? I mean, okay, this is just an observation. It's not anything in particular in regards to none of this. It's just me just chit-chatting with you guys at this point. So I was getting ready to share like some of my thoughts in regards to this whole pandemic situation, because it's like, well, like I said, I know it's kind of difficult for me to get back to work, right? To do the things that I was doing before the pandemic. Mainly because I don't have my venue anymore. Or because I was renting this space in 2019. It was a whole thing, y'all know about it already, and whatnot. And so, yeah, I would kind of be starting at square one when it comes to that. So what I'm saying is, it's hard for me to put out a public event the way I used to without a venue. And so, and yeah, okay, I could do one venue at a time or one show at a time, but that's a lot to do that. So anyway, so with that being said, and then obviously, Georgia isn't participating in the pandemic assistance anymore, so that affected me greatly. You know, but again, I tried to be wise when I did have that assistance. However, since I no longer have it, of course, that's so not to say that's why you guys are seeing more, but I'm trying to figure out like how to get back out there, and still try to do something in the midst of this current situation. Because it's still weird, you're still hearing all these rumors about like, oh, this and that is going on or whatever. And then I guess technically, businesses are open, but businesses are not open at the same time. It's just, so how am I supposed to work, so again, yeah, the virtual events, things like that I put out, these are the reasons why. I enjoy them too, don't get me wrong. The coloring set would have been really fun last night, I think, but still the giveaway was still fun, and I still enjoyed that. I still, again, creating the content and things like that, things that I've been doing from home, like even this and stuff. I really do enjoy it, and I hope that you guys do too, and everything like that. And so yeah, I'm just just trying to figure out getting things back out there. So maybe I can get some more private bookings and stuff like that. We'll see what the Lord do. I'm not gonna worry or stress about it. I'm just I'm just chatting, just sharing and chatting. But yeah, that's what's going on. So again, I appreciate everybody that supports me in any aspect. And yeah, while I'm in this transition. um, but yeah, that's it. That's all I have for you all at the moment. So we'll keep my mom in prayer and everything like that as well. I think she's starting to work on some projects and whatnot. So I'm excited for her as well. If anyone has any questions about any things that I've been doing, cause like if you want to do some of this stuff too, for example, then hey, by all means, because again, like I've shared before, I have no problem sharing with you guys the information that I received about making books, or anything, because at the end of the day, I guess it's not to say it's putting it into practice or whatever. I guess tying it back into my Bible study for today, but I mean, it's just one of those things that, like, when you're blessed and or with information or whatever it is, then you can pay that forward to people and whatnot. I mean, I don't know. I mean, sometimes people hold on tight to stuff they don't like share, but I mean, I guess I don't know. I truly believe that there's room for all of us to succeed. We're all can be in our own lanes. It's not necessarily a competition. Life, you know what I mean? Even though it seems that way, right? We get put against each other a lot, and whatnot, or we see somebody that wants to do either they're doing the same thing or whatever case is, then we get kind of like, oh, like there's some type of tension or something for whatever reason. But it's like it doesn't have to be that way. At the end of the day, like one great example that I heard somebody give is like, hey, go to the bread aisle and see how many bread companies there are out there. And I mean, there you go. Like they all have bread in the store. They all have the equal opportunity to get chosen by people. Like, and it's all the same product. It's all bread. You know what I mean? Same with water and everything like that. I mean, maybe one company bottles theirs a little better. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's all water or it's all bread or it's there's multiple companies with all of these different products and things like that. And so, again, I guess that's an example that there's room for all of us. But all right, y'all, I won't sit here and be long your time. I will let you all go. But thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And I look forward to talking to y'all. Ooh. Is my voice trying to leave? Is my voice trying to get taken out? They trying to take me out of here, y'all. In Jesus' name, we rebuke that. Amen. As I was saying, I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow. The Lord's will. Bye.